Welcome to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast, connecting real people with expert advice to achieve a healthier lifestyle and live a more fulfilling and abundant life. Here is your host, Coach Tavia.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to my show, the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. I'm your host, Tavia, and you guys are in for a treat today because it's just me. Sorry, it's just me. That's your treat today. No. I hope you love to hear from me, and I hope that everybody that listens to my show appreciates what I have to share every time, because I pour my all from my heart, you guys. If you know me, you know that I just love to help other people. And I feel it's very, very important that we all share the information that has brought to us. I, for one, feel that there's a lot of things out there that people just don't know, that should know. So if you're watching right now on YouTube, hello, you can see me. If you are listening on the podcast, hello to you in your car or your shower or wherever you are. But today's going to be a pretty quick podcast, but it's going to be a follow-up to episode number 14. If you haven't listened to any of my episodes, episode 14 is all about the hidden dangers in your mouth. And I specifically talk about what happened to me a couple of years ago and how it is an added result or an extension, if you will, of my Lyme disease. And so just last week, I had literally a week ago. Wow, it's been a week. I had part 2 of my cavitation surgery. What are dental cavitations? For those of you who don't know, cavitations are little hidden pockets in the back of your gums, in your bone, if you will, of where when you go in to get your wisdom teeth pulled, they can have little pockets left back there. And those pockets can harbor little bugs. They can harbor parasites. They can harbor bacteria, viruses, staph, strep, nasty stuff, can accumulate over the years when it is not extracted properly. Now we'll talk about that. Excuse me, a little bubble in my throat here. And when I say properly, I want to dive right into that, what that means, because I was 19 when I got my wisdom teeth pulled. I had no clue what was going on when they're pulling my wisdom teeth. They said, oh, you need your wisdom teeth pulled, so let's pull your wisdom teeth, like everybody does when they're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And so my parents take me in and they take these things out. I went to an oral surgeon. I was not out, by the way, and I wish I was, because I remember the crackling of the teeth. Oh my God. If you guys ever got your wisdom teeth pulled, I hope you were out for it, because I was not. And I remember being so loopy and walking out of there feeling like I was drunk, and it was kind of fun actually, but no. Anyways, I got my wisdom teeth pulled, crack. I remember the crackling. I remember them yanking on my jaw. Little did I know that I would have TMJ problems soon after that. Yep, still do. Anyways, nonetheless, so I had those wisdom teeth pulled. No big deal, right? And that was 19. So along the way, I had some other cavities. I had some root canals that had to be done. I actually had 3 of them. In between my 20s and my 30s, I had 3 root canals. Unfortunately, when I was a kid, I did brush my teeth. But my parents didn't have insurance back then. And so we weren't so great about going to the dentist, I'll be honest. And it just kind of goes down to genetics too, in your teeth in general, if you have bad genes. Teeth are genes, genetic related. So I don't think my parents necessarily had bad teeth. I think my mom had a few bad ones and my dad too, but nonetheless, it does go down to your overall health too. All right. So fast forward to last week. So I had this cavitation surgery. Okay. First of all, what are dental cavitations? Dental cavitations are, like I said, they're pockets back in the back of your mouth and the upper part too. You have upper wisdom teeth as well, right? So these pockets are what they call cavitations, little indentations, little boulders, if you will, pockets. And a lot of people don't even know what the heck this is. Most dentists don't know what these are. They don't study them in their general practicing of dentistry. This is a specialty thing. Most people who practice in cavitations are oral surgeons. And even beyond that, they're even more specialized in these. There's only probably, I don't know, I think my oral surgeon that did my surgery, he said there's far and few between There's very rare ones left in the United States that even do these surgeries because they're so specialty. And I will say a lot of people don't even believe in them. Or they're like, that's a bunch of junk. And you can just throw some antibiotics down there and you clean that up and they'll be fine. Well, I hate to tell you guys, if you get to see if you look on YouTube right now, I'm going to show you what was in my mouth and it wasn't pretty. So that being said, I'm going to see if I can show you some slides here of what was found in my mouth. And it's pretty gross, but anyways, I want to talk to you about my surgery last week. So I had surgery last week. This was the second part. I had the left side done first. I had good success with it. And then they did the right side. So they did it upper, lower on the left. And then I came back 3 months later into the right side. You got to get all 4 of them. When I had the first ones done, he was like, wow. He's like, you got eggs in here. I'm like, huh? Eggs? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you got all this. And he showed me this yellow stuff coming out. And basically it was infection, but there were these little pockets. I call them, they look like little potsy eggs. Potsy eggs, like when you go fishing. Shout out to my grandpa in heaven. He taught me how to fish. They were like these little eggs and he literally showed them to me. And I had like 3 or 4. What would you think? 3 or 4 eggs, gross, Tavia. And eggs, meaning they're like parasites. They're like little encapsulated little bacteria, encapsulated little whatever. I could have sent them off to pathology and had them sent off and biopsied, but I chose not to because of the expense. This was not a cheap thing. It was not covered from insurance or by insurance whatsoever. But it had to be done. Let me go back a second too. Why did I have these done, or how did this get discovered? That I had a question on Facebook. They said, well, how did you know that you need to have this done? Okay, good question. How did I know I needed to have this done? Is because I have Lyme disease, 1, and 2, many people with Lyme disease have systemic issues that just never resolve themselves. After going through about 6 years of treatment, I've done really, really well. I've been to Germany, you guys. I've done so much. Ignore the dings. This is real life, people. So I've gone through a lot with my Lyme disease, and I've had, I went through the antibiotic treatment, which was crap. It didn't help me. But I ultimately went to Germany, had hypothermia done. And then since then I have been treated through a Lyme professional, a Lyme literate doctor in Seattle area. And I've had to really work on killing or keeping Lyme at bay, if you will, keep it in remission. And then the cleanup work, the detoxing, the secondary co-infections, Babesia, Bartonella, Ehrlichia, Rickettsia, all of those secondary infections. That's a whole nother topic, by the way, that we're not, that can harbor. And then there's viruses, guys. There's cytomegalovirus. There's Epstein-Barr virus. There's herpes viruses. There's strep. There's staph. There's so much bugs, if you will, out there. You have no idea what is in your mouth. You have no idea what is in your body. And when a person has a chronic illness or an illness that is just not getting better, even going down to rheumatoid arthritis, let's talk about RA for a second. If you have RA, you have inflammation, right? Why? Has anybody told you why? Oh, it's genetic. Possibly genetics, but I will concur with that. There is a genetic component there. But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you, there's probably something else going on in there that's causing this inflammation. And if you haven't looked at that root cause, if you haven't dug deep and looked, maybe it's in your mouth. I don't know. Maybe it's someplace else in your body that is, maybe it's in your gut. That's a good place to look, guys. Your gut. There's something else that is causing this inflammation. Your joints just don't swell up and just don't get all nasty. Maybe it's an allergy. You're eating too much gluten. You're eating or drinking too much cheese and milk and dairy, right? So anyways, in a nutshell, so there's always an underlying cause, right? So going back to me and why did I have this done? So I have been, on this mission, and I've been putting in remission my Lyme, but I've still had some things that are coming up, and I was still having some like ringing in my ear and some ongoing dizziness, and which does go hand in hand with Lyme as well. So some that issues, kind of like tooth pain, just overall, like I had headaches on one side of my head for a while, and I'm like, that was kind of weird. Just and overall, just a sense of, I wasn't getting over that hump. Usually we can get you to about, with Lyme, people get to about 80% and then they stop getting better. And there's usually an underlying problem. There's something that's missing, whether it's the co-infections haven't been addressed, like I mentioned, or it's something going on deeper. And that's where my wise doctor, Dr. Wakely, was like, hello, have you looked in your mouth? And Lyme loves the mouth, guys. And I'm going to say bugs in general love the mouth, not just Lyme bugs. Okay. I'm going to really emphasize not just Lyme. Or I'm talking strep. I'm talking viruses. I'm talking bacteria. If you have swollen glands all the time, there's something going on in your mouth. You need to address that. Mouth health is so important. So important. I can't even emphasize how much it is important to go to the dentist, get your teeth checked, and even look further if there's other ongoing problems going on. So that's why my doctor was like, we need to look at this. We need to look a little further. And so I had what was called a cone beam done. It's like a 3D scan image. And I sent it off to a specialist who read them. And they detected that I had these pockets of infection. And then I sent it off to two, not one, but two different oral surgeon specialists in California. I got two opinions. And they both concurred with the same and said, yes, you have these. So lo and behold, I set up the appointment. I had my first in end of June. And then now this was my second cavitation surgery for the right side. Had the left side done. Now I had the right side done. So anyways, I had this done last week and it went really, really well. And I want to talk to you about the procedure and how it's a little bit different than your typical doctor. The doctor I saw, the clinic was Marin Dental. And it was down in Mill Valley, California. Shout out to them. They were amazing dental clinic. And Dr. Robert Jarvis was my oral surgeon. Amazing. Shout out to him too. He was amazing and took really good care of me, him and his team. And so I get there and I just want to talk about the process a little bit different than what you're probably normally used to going to your oral surgeon or your dentist. And that is the first thing they do is they hook you up to a vitamin C IV. Yep. Vitamin C IV. Why vitamin C? Guys, they're messing with your mouth. They're stirring up bugs. They're stirring up bacteria. They're stirring up things in your mouth. You need to have that bacteria not going back through your body, essentially, right? So that's what's really impressive, first and foremost. The second thing they did is they drew some blood. And I had what's called PRP, plasma-rich protein, done. And what is plasma? So plasma is a healer. So they took my own blood out of my arm and they spun it down and they basically put it back into my socket, where after they pulled the gunk out of my mouth, and it's good for healing. So anyways, so I had those two things first and foremost are the most important things that I want to say that were like unique and different and so needed. Why? Because it helps with healing, guys. And so I take the stuff out of my mouth. So here we go. So they numb me up. Third thing I want to say is with the numbing stuff, it had no epinephrine in it. Yay. Didn't make my heart race. He did shot, numb me all up nice and good and no heart racing. I hate that when I go to the dentist, my heart races and the epinephrine, it does not good. A lot of people with Lyme problems have heart conditions too. So it's not good for them. I have a heart murmur. So I appreciated that. So then we numb me up. He gets in there, starts cleaning everything out. And he's like, oh my God, you got the Titanic of eggs in here. And I'm like, great. So I have these Titanic of eggs in my body here. And I was going to see if I could show you guys my eggs here. If you want to see them, you're going to have to look on good old YouTube here. Let me see if I can show. I thought I had them pulled it up here, and I apologize. I should be more prepared here, and I guess it's missing now. But nonetheless, yeah, I guess we're not going to show those today. Okay, we're going to stop sharing here. Anyways, so if you want to see them, if you're interested, I might tag them at the end at a different picture to show you guys what they actually look like. Anyways, so they took out some of these eggs, you want to call them, and there was a lot of them. It really was. And it blew me away. I was like, wow, that was in my mouth. It's gross. It's disgusting. I I brush my teeth. I have good oral health. I go to the dentist regularly now. It has nothing to do with that, you guys. It was all this yuck in my mouth that is basically causing a systemic infection. I feel like really good today. I will say today's like a week out, and I contribute it to one, getting those things out of my mouth, two, doing the things that were properly to get me to feeling better, like the vitamin C, like the PRP, the plasma. Like when I left there, they first of all put like a laser on my face to help inflammation, some blue light, red light therapy. Awesome, right? They give me homeopathics instantly. Arnica, they give me arnica to suck on rather than any kind of meds. I didn't take any meds the whole time I was in their office. I left there with 3 vials of more homeopathics for surgical wound healing, for relieving nerve pain, for relieving and helping infection. So, these are the things that like you just don't hear about. You just don't get at a normal dentist. And I'm not knocking normal dentists. We have fabulous dentists out there, fabulous dentists. But I'm just saying, can you imagine if we did some of these things and just, these are not things that are not approved. These are not things that are, too far out there. These are things, homeopathics, guys, are like herbs and things that they've used for the Indians use thousands of years. This is how they healed people. And I used all of those remedies, those modalities as I left there. I literally took, for 2 days, I took Advil. That's all I had for my pain, ice pack, Advil. And then I got home and I used my own red light therapy. I use my own healing patches for inflammation. The Eon patch from LifeWave, love it. If you don't know about the healing inflammation patches, talk to me about those. You need to get some of those in your life. And I rested, and no antibiotics. Oh, and I will say too, one other thing is I oil pulled. I pulled toxins out of my mouth continually with some oil that was it had oxygen in it. I'll say that. It was ozone oil. Ozone is another thing that they did while I was there. Before I left, they gave me 2 shots of ozone in my mouth. Ozone is oxygen. It's O3, basically. Ozone is amazing. It heals. Why aren't we giving ozone to people more? I don't get it. I mean, I know it needs to be regulated and oversat by someone who knows what they're doing, obviously. But ozone, why don't we do that for other things, for other healing? And then the day before, another prep thing that I did is I did ozone blood therapy. What is that? So they took out a pint of blood of me at my doctor's, at my Lyme specialist, the day before my surgery. And they took out a bunch of blood, a pint about, and they injected my blood with ozone, with oxygen, essentially. And then they put the blood back in me. So it was like kind of like a transfusion with ozone. It was wonderful. It was wonderful, you guys. And the blood difference between my blood they took out and the blood they put in was like night and day. The blood was amazing. Like, okay, so when they took my blood out, my blood runs usually thick. It has high fibrinogen in it. My blood looks kind of blackish, I'll be honest. And that's not good. If your blood is black, it's not good. I'm going to tell you that. But I just have high fibrinogen. Hence why I have to be really careful about blood clots and taking certain things. And I'll just say taking the jabs and stuff, any kind of jabs, I have to be really careful about. So anyways, I had this blood, and I'm going to share with you a couple photos right now. And again, I apologize for the people that can't see this, but you'll have to go on YouTube. I'm showing right now the picture of the oil pulling solution that I use, the ozonated Pure O3 is the name of it. So if you want to look it up, Pure O3 is what I use. So that's one of the photos that I'm showing. The next slide that I'm showing, which I'm hoping that it will come up in something. Oh, that's me and my husband. There's my wonderful brother. Other way, guys. Okay, this is the blood picture. This is the picture of me in the tube. You can see here, this is the dark blood before. Can you see how dark that is? I said black. It does look it looked like cherry black, like black cherry. And then look at after it's oxygenated, how cherry red it looks like. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, it was so good. And it made me feel amazing. This therapy, again, is not done traditionally. A lot of naturopathics use it. They have to be trained in it. But this is something, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this more? Look into it, into your area if you're listening to that. Ozonated blood. It's a wonderful thing. Let's see here. And then I wanted to show, there's a lovely picture of me with an ice pack on my face. Isn't that nice, Tavia? Yeah, that's great. This picture I'm showing of me with an ice pack and some swelling. And then the next picture I'm showing is with my lovely Eon patch. You can also see some swelling down here. And it looks like I have a double chin. That is some swelling. And you can also see my bruising that I also had down there as well. And then the next slide that, again, is me showing the red light therapy that promotes healing and reduces inflammation. I have a little device that's actually good for your overall, your complexion too. This handheld device that I have in particularly, it does red, blue, and green. So blue promotes also bacteria, it's supposed to kill the bugs. Red promotes inflammation, all of that. So and I think that is my last slide here. Oh, nope. Here's the other one I wanted to show you. And this was the little homeopathics that they gave me. These, I'm showing these slides. There's 3 of them. If you're interested in that, I will certainly share those with you, what those items are in a private message. So that is in a nutshell, my experience and what happened last week and the kind of the background story. I wanted to share with you all things went really well. If you are experiencing a systemic condition, a condition where you're not getting answers, where you're not getting well, look in your mouth, go have a cone beam done, and see if there's cavitations. Okay. See if there's cavitations. Now, I said my insurance doesn't cover it up front. I am going to turn it into insurance because it is a medical part of my medical healing. And some insurances may cover it. So I don't want that to scare you off. But gosh, darn it, you guys, look at your mouth. Is there, and the other part of, do you have mercury in your mouth? Do you have metals? Do you have lead? Do you have still these old amalgam fillings? Get them out for the love of God. They're killing you guys. If you have an autoimmune condition and you have metal still in your mouth, get it out now. I'm just going to say, get it out. It could be the one last thing that's preventing you from getting better. Mercury, lead, all that stuff is in those dang silver fillings. You need to get them out. And even crowns, if you will, even crowns can contain metal in them, you guys. So, here's the one thing Dr. Jarvis said to me, and I thought this was fascinating, was he said, we're all electricity, right? So if there's an electrical current in your mouth that's causing something to go wrong, essentially, if there's a break in the connection. So if you have metal in your mouth and we're all energy and it's not creating that connectivity, that proper A to B connection that you need, right? For electricity, just like if it, like from your house to the side of the road, right? Or outside your house, the cable line. If that connection is broken, then what happens? You don't have electricity. The same thing happens in your mouth is the best way I can explain it. So I loved how Dr. Jarvis said that to me. So anyways, I think that covers what cavitation surgeries are, what I went through. I showed you guys some pictures and I hope you enjoyed them. I did not show the slides of the bugs and I saved them. If you want to see them, I will happy to. I don't want to gross you out, I guess, anyways. So anyways, thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you have any questions about cavitations, who the doctor is, who I went to, why you should consider getting your teeth or mouth looked at. If you're a candidate of cavitation surgery or a candidate at all of just possibly, God, do I have those? Is that what causing me problems? Come talk to me, do a consultation with me. I'll give you my honest opinion. I'll send you information about my Lyme doctor if anybody's interested about that too, of who I see. I have a wonderful, wonderful team of doctors that I work with. And with my health coaching practice, I'm so very blessed. If you're out there struggling, one last word, gosh darn it, don't struggle anymore. And if you're not getting answers, gosh darn it, you deserve answers. I went 10 years undiagnosed, you guys, and I say that all the time and I sound like a broken record, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to live that way. You don't need to live that way. So get answers. If I can't help you, I will send you to one of my team members somebody that I know in my circle and get you well. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Have an amazing day or night or whenever you're listening to this or seeing this. And I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
You've been listening to the Sweet Life Coaching Podcast. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show, please visit sweetcoachtavia.com.